Hi everyone, my name is Bailey, and one of the most defining moments in my life, I would have to say, is going to the Washington Leadership Conference the summer before my senior year of high school. Um, I attended this conference against my will. I did not want to go because it's a conference in Washington, D.C., and people from all across the nation come to it. Like a bunch of FFA kids from all over the nation come to this. And you don't get to room with people you know. Like you're in an assigned room with kids you don't know. Um, so I was not excited about it. I was not thrilled. I was not a talkative person. I was very shy back then. Anyways, I went to the conference and I was roomed with a girl from Georgia, one from Iowa, and another from Missouri. So I got really cultured on their ways of life. Um, but the conference it's like 4 days, I want to say. It's been a while, so forgive me. But it's 4 days, and they have different themes for each day. So they have college students come in and teach all the sessions. And the first day, you kind of focus on yourself, and you kind of realize what you're passionate about, what you enjoy doing, and then you kind of focus on that. And we do take a lot of tours around Washington, D.C. So the first day, we went to the Arlington National Cemetery, and we got to see the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and we got to watch the guard change, which was really cool. Um, anyways, that day was really kind of eye-opening because you kind of see how many people are willing to like lay their life on the line just to protect us, a bunch of people they don't know. So that was really life-changing. Then the next day, you kind of focus on everybody as a whole. So it's their days go me, we, do, and serve. So they have different themes each day. Well, the second day was we. So we kind of focused on how to get everybody together as a team and how we can all work together to accomplish our goals and figure out what we're passionate about. That day, we got to tour the U.S. Capitol, and if your advisor wanted to, you could schedule a kind of like a sit down interview type thing with your representative from your state. We didn't get to do that, unfortunately, but I'm sure it was really cool. The third day was due, so we got to go to a thing called a newseum. It's like basically a museum with a whole bunch of news articles, news stories in it. So I sat and watched one on 9/11, and it was really, really like gut wrenching at what happened that day. Like once you kind of sit down, because I was alive when it happened, but I was so young, I don't remember it, in full detail. And just to sit down and rewatch it and hear interviews from people who experienced that, it was awful. It was heartbreaking. So then that entire day was just heartbreaking. So that night, normally we would all have meals and we would all sit together. You get to sit with whoever you want. Well, that night you had an assigned seat, and they would give it to you when you walked in. So whatever color you had, like that's what section you had to sit in. And there were 3 different levels. There was like low class, middle class, and high class. So if you were high class, you got to sit at a table with a tablecloth and a waiter, and you got the really nice food and all that good stuff. If you were middle class, you sat at a table with no tablecloth, and like your food was just sitting on the table for you. You didn't have a waiter or anything like that. And then if you were low class, you were sitting on a sheet on the floor with about 10 other people, 10 or 12 other people. And all you got for dinner that night was a plate of cooked rice, and it was for all of you to share. So I was at that section, unfortunately. But it was just really kind of eye-opening because there was a whole lot more in my section than there were in the middle or high class section. And it was just kind of to show you how prevalent poverty is nowadays. So it was just kind of really eye-opening. And it wasn't like a fake thing, like, this is what you get for dinner now, but we're actually going to have a meal later. Like, that's what you got for the entire night. So the next day, that was our serve day. So that day we did a service project, and it was where everybody got together and we all kind of packed boxes of food to send to families that were in that kind of predicament, in that situation that we were in. So it was just really heartwarming to kind of be almost in their situation, like partially. I can't even begin to imagine how they feel, but just to experience that a little tiny bit was enough for me. So it was just really heartwarming to kind of give back to them after that. But then we went home. I made lots of friends throughout that conference. So it was just very eye-opening for me because it fills you with this passion. You want to come back to your chapter and you want to just help the community in every way you can after experiencing something like that. So before the conference, I was very bitter, unhappy with my situation because there was a lot of drama within the officer team and I didn't get the position I wanted, heaven forbid. So I was just very upset about that. And then after attending this conference and coming back, I was like, wow, my problems are really not as big as I make them out to be. So it was a really humbling experience. I really think that it kind of changed my heart for the better. So that is my defining moment. Thank you.